time for Loveline.
You know, there's going to be sex, drugs, rock and roll.
The crowd seems to love this.
Careful, it's slippery. I had it wet.
Only on 92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson. Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion advised. Now, here's Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-191. With Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
I know, but... Yeah, that's not the humor. All right, hey, it's the Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist, me, humble servant. Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191.
You are my teacher.
Thank you. Fax number 318-544-4455. Later on this week, the Insane Clown Posse will be in here, and Ione Skye, the fabulous actress, will be in here. Ow! Until then, so far.
So how did you do PI today?
Yes, I did.
Politically incorrect. How was that?
It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good time. Bill Maher likes me. I don't know if you know that. I mean, it's, more than a guest, I think. Bill Maher, I crack Bill Maher up. There's a couple of people who you crack up in this world, and there's everyone else.
And he's one of them.
Bill Maher, I happen to crack Bill Maher up.
Wouldn't it be nice if I was one of them, too?
You mean if I cracked you up?
Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting?
Sure, ball-peen hammer and a cold chisel could not crack you up. You have no idea what you're in the midst of. No. You are like a diabetic in a candy store. Do you understand?
Oh, I do.
One day, Drew. Oh, one day.
So, what was your point?
And it's sad that I have to bring this up all the time, but one day when I'm hailed as an American genius, when I go down in the ranks of the Lenny Bruces,
the Will Rogers,
the
Mark Twain.
Mark Twains of the world.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be interviewing you, and you'll be sitting there with your eyes going around like pinwheels. Huh? I don't know. He poured a good cup of coffee, I'll tell you that.
That a-hole?
He rambled. Yeah, Ann's comment will be, he wouldn't shut up. I don't know what he was saying. All right, so what do you want, Drew?
Let's see, you debated the women that wrote the rules.
Right.
And
me and my male lover, Jimmy.
Yeah, and how'd that go? I mean, I always thought that would be a nice... It nice to take them on because we disagree very strongly with their points of view, right?
Yes, we do, and it was fine except for they were a little bit angry, and it was not as spirited or as fun as I was anticipating.
Right.
It's sort of like, a young dog trying to play with an old man who's trying to take a leak.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, one of them's having a good time and one of them's annoyed.
Well, Bill Maher would toss it up, and you guys would whack it at him, and they would volley back.
We were having fun with them.
Yeah.
These are a couple of women who aren't particularly jovial at all. I mean, if you just look at them, I don't know if people have seen these two women who have written the rules, but they look like they're angry. And we were having a good time with them, me and Jimmy, and taking a few shots at them and a few pokes. And, that's the name of the show. For those of you who've never done Politically Incorrect, and I guess it's at least 55 to maybe 60% of our listeners have not actually been a guest on that show. But I think a good 45% have.
That's too bad.
They want you to get it on a little bit. They roust you. I mean, they tell you in the room before you hit the stage, hey, listen, if someone says something out there you disagree with, you pipe right on up. That is the name of the show. And during the commercial, the producer, Scott, will come out there and go, hey, I think you guys are getting along a little too well. I think you're agreeing on a few too many things. Let's see if we can mix it up just a little bit. It's sort of like what referees do in prize fights. Two heavyweights start leaning on each other, start hugging a little too much, start dancing around. They break it up and come on, let's get it on. And they have to keep, one guy starts holding, they pull his arm off the other guy and back him up so they can punch each other. That's the way this show works.
Yeah. So
we were throwing some punches, but they were just kind of sitting there like a punching bag that got angry. So it'll be a good show. It's not airing tonight or tomorrow or whatever. They're saving it for sweeps or something. Yeah. So I don't know whenever that is. I'll tell you when it is. But it'll be a good time. And they got warmed up toward the end of the show. But they clearly were not happy. And I guess their publicist didn't do a great job of warning them what was going to go on. Patrick?
Yeah.
You're 21.
What's up?
Nothing.
Calling from Manhattan, baby.
Oh, really?
Yep, Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh, there's a Manhattan, Kansas?
You never heard of it?
We were there.
We were there? Listen, I got to tell you, Patrick, when I'm in charge, there's going to be one Manhattan. It's going to be New York.
That's
and there's going to be one, what's the other one that drives me nuts?
Pasadena?
No.
Oh, it was like...
not Rhode Island.
Rochester?
Rochester.
Yeah.
Now, there's two of them. Drew and I almost got in a fist fight over the fact there was two of them in an airport once. I don't need that kind of aggravation. We can name stuff anything. For Christ's sake, do we need 15 of everything?
I'm sorry.
Paris, Texas.
Call us Little Apple.
All right, so anyway, what's going on there, Patrick?
Well, I've been dating a girl for about 3 months. And she keeps talking about something called the shocker. And tell me about it. And...
Yeah? Patrick?
I'm sorry. And she keeps telling me about how she wants...
You have a seizure disorder?
You see lots of bright colors when you close your eyes, Patrick?
I really like her, but I don't want to perform this thing on her.
Right.
And I'm not really all about the kind of stuff that her old boyfriend used to be about.
What is the shocker?
No.
You don't want to know?
I almost don't want to know.
Yeah, I kind of do. Patrick? Hold on, Patrick. Patrick, listen to me. What is the TV on, brother?
No, the TV is not on.
It sort of doesn't matter.
Is the radio on?
The radio is on in another room. My roommate's listening.
All right. Are you using a spirograph right now or an Etch-a-Sketch or anything that could distract you from this show?
Nothing.
All right.
Okay.
I guarantee it. I'm sitting in a room all alone.
Wow.
Lights out.
I swear it was like some kind of light show going on in there. All right. Now, Patrick, listen with both ears, would you?
Gotcha.
What is this
wait.
technique
It's
known as... Would you shut the hell up?
It sort of doesn't matter because he's setting us up for this. And
I don't
the
care.
issue is, I don't want to do this thing your boyfriend used to do. All right, well, don't do it. Okay, well, why do you have to tell us what this is?
Because it's good radio, that's why.
Because it's bogus.
Oh, it's bogus. Well, I believe you, Patrick.
Well...
All right, so explain to me what this shocker is.
I'll tell you what, make me happy and tell me this is bogus and you just want to describe something funny to us.
No, I'm not telling you anything funny.
All
right, go ahead.
I'm telling you right now, supposedly she's had it in both places before. And she wants that feeling again, basically. And she thinks the only way I can do that is by giving her this shocker. And I just...
This guy is an asshole.
Okay, hold on, Patrick.
I don't feel comfortable doing it.
All right, Patrick, what is the shocker?
Well... It's like one thing in the front and one thing in the back. That's how she wants it.
What thing is in the front or the back? Finger?
I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it, but we've only been dating for 2 weeks, and we've moved a little fast. And I think it's a finger thing.
Okay.
But
all right, take it slow. Take a breath there, buddy. Patrick's 21 years old, everybody. It's like talking to a 13-year-old foreign exchange student or something. It doesn't, it's always like how you would say in your language. It's like, wow. All right, Patrick. Listen. Okay, one more thing. Hold on, Patrick.
Yeah.
You got to wear a condom. You cannot get anyone pregnant. Do you understand?
I'm not going to get anybody.
Don't get anyone pregnant.
I won't.
It would be you. Be like having a guy with Down syndrome fly a 747. Having Patrick. Even worse. In charge of a couple of kids. Don't get anyone pregnant and stay with the shocker. Corey. You're 18, and how come I could hear loud noises coming from that room?
The radio show.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's what was confusing you?
Yes.
Corey, you're 18.
Right.
What's going on?
There's something missing in the relationship between me and my boyfriend. The sex is fine. There's passion and, I guess everything, affection. But there's something we both notice. It's kind of like some kind of frustration. And we both know it's there, and we can't figure out what it is. And
How old's your boyfriend?
he's 18.
How long have you been going out with him?
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's run its course.
Yeah, that's the frustration is an unwillingness to admit what you're really feeling.
Yeah.
And that's a real common thing. In fact, actually, some people feel sort of aggressive towards one another, like
Yeah, I recognize that.
and you don't want to kiss, and it's just all that's gone. It's just you're sort of stuck together.
Yeah.
And that's usually means things have sort of done their thing.
It's kind of a subtle way of getting out, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're getting aggressive, you're getting short-tempered with the person, you're flying off the handle. It's sort of working your way out without getting out, without saying anything.
Yeah, but these guys are stuck together. They're almost enmeshed. You know, they're there. They're not going to. You know, we have this perfect relationship.
Right.
We just are miserable.
Whoa. You have a little flashback, brother?
No flashback.
To like 1977, 78.
Now you bring it up. But how do you put it in a particular year?
I had to pick.
I had to think about corduroys and bell bottoms. Oh, I'm there.
I know where your wheelhouse is. Corey, if you have been together with your boyfriend for 2 years, you say the passion is there, you say the sex is there, and everything's there, but you just both have this feeling in the pit of your stomach. It's not really worth. I wouldn't work it out. You know what it's like? I got to think of like a car analogy or something here, Drew. It's like a water pump in a car. You don't bother rebuilding it after 85,000 miles. You just go down to Pep Boys and buy a new one. You guys shouldn't be getting into...
Even if it was the best water pump you ever had.
Even if you love that water pump and it pumped better than any other water pump you've ever had in your car, just go down and get a new one. It's not. You don't rebuild it.
You at 28, you wouldn't even get to this point in the relationship.
Because you would have gotten out of it
a long time ago. This would have happened.
Right. Okay. Mike? What the hell did I press that for?
I have no idea.
Brenda?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? You're 22.
Right. I have a quick medical question for Dr. Jufus. Whenever I get really excited, like turned on by women, my breasts get really painful. Is that normal or is that weird?
There's usually some swelling with that, and women have different degrees. I mean, some women, when you are breastfeeding, hearing a baby crying will cause pain and sort of cramping in the breast.
Yeah,
so
my scrotum hurts when I hear a baby cry.
The breast can respond to things like that.
So I'm not deformed or anything?
Nothing wrong with it.
We got a little girl in Brenda's voice.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me. I have kind of a cold. There's something wrong with my throat.
That must be it.
Yeah. Why Jello, Mom? Okay, my question is, I like women. I think that I'm a full-blown lesbian, and I don't know how to tell my boyfriend.
Why do you have a boyfriend if you're a full-blown lesbian?
Well, because we've been going out for about 2 years, and when we first started dating, I was into both men and women, and he knows that, and he was comfortable with that.
How old were you?
A little girl voice. Now it's really coming in.
How old were you when you first had sex?
Excuse me?
How old were you in your first sexual experience?
14.
And was that with a man or woman?
A man.
And how old was he?
16.
And there was nothing before that?
Nope.
No experimentation with your peers or anything?
Not that I remember. I don't really remember anything like before I was like in 3rd grade, so I don't know.
Don't you think that's a little peculiar?
No, I didn't think. Is it?
When did your dad leave?
I was 10.
What's his deal? Why did he leave?
He was abusive.
Ooh, all right, now we're making some headway here. Physically abusive to your mom?
Yes.
Yeah. And did she kick him out, or did you guys flee somewhere?
I went away to camp for like 3 months, and then I came back, and they were separated. So I don't really know how the whole deal went down. But I think it was pretty rough.
You didn't have any contact with your dad?
No.
All right.
I would bet that something went down in there with you somewhere. Something.
Older brothers, cousins, uncles.
Yeah, I'm not so. And by the way, I'm not pursuing this because you're lesbian, but because you had this long history of confusion. You're 22, and today you're declaring yourself a lesbian, and then that happens.
Well,
but
it's actually something that I've known that I've been into women since I was like in high school.
Yeah, but being into women and
why do you have a boyfriend then?
Right.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Right.
All right, hold on, Drew. You're making me nervous. You're using that mic cord like a saddle horn.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you understand where we are? We're at Westwood 2.
Right.
The equipment barely works when you leave it alone. You yanking on that thing, your mic's going to come flying right out of there.
Adam, I've been doing that for 4 years.
No, you have
Yes,
not.
I
You have
have.
not been pulling yourself back and
Yes,
forth.
I have. That's what I do. I rock myself with
I
it.
know you rock yourself, but you don't hang on to that thing. You hang on to the side of the desk. That's right, just where your hand
I do
was.
that, too. I do that.
There you go.
I do that. What?
I'm discussing with you. You're going
discussing with
to
me
tear
that-
this thing out.
Adam,
That's why.
Adam.
Just stop it.
Think of every...
My mic's not working right now, my headphones.
That's not my fault.
You're jinxing my side
Think
of the
how
concept.
what would be like in this room if every movement you made irritated me.
Oh, you jackass. Mike was screwing with me. All right,
Think
Drew.
about that. Hey, put my hand down. It's bothering me. It's distracting me from concentrating on you.
Drew, you know,
You see?
let me explain something about Drew, everybody. Hold on here, Brenda, because this is more important.
Okay.
Drew has a few movements that he likes to use, such as whenever we sign some autographs after one of these lectures, he likes to punctuate every one of his signatures by slamming his fist down on what's essentially a plastic table. In which case, my arm goes flying off the table in the middle of whatever I'm signing. And when I ask him to stop it, he hits it harder the next time, and he does it each and every time. Now, Brenda, you're very confused, but you're not confused about this. I mean, if you're sitting next to somebody on a fold-out table who keeps banging their hand against it while you're signing a book, you figure they would stop, wouldn't you?
I hope so.
That's right. Drew has a lot
my
of
other
strange
one?
movements
What's my
that
other
way.
one?
The other thing you like to do is you like to take your chair, slide it under the console, and then when you get up, the whole thing
No, I
lifts
don't like
off
to
the
do that.
ground.
That's the weirdness of this whole configuration here.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
But I do, let's see if we come up with some of the other ones.
Well, he likes to take his cap on his magic marker and do that with it.
No, it's this.
There you go. All right, Brenda?
Huh?
What the hell's up with you?
She's
lesbian.
confused. She's lesbian.
All right, dump your boyfriend.
But how do I do it without completely breaking his heart, though? Is it...
You tell him you're lesbian. That's fine. That's all the excuse you ever needed. All right, dump your boyfriend. Run off with your new girlfriend. But mark my words, there'll be more chaos for you.
Right. You're sort of, Brenda, setting a course.
You'll dump this chick for a guy. Give it about 4.5 months.
Well, there's nobody I'm actually involved with. I was actually just planning to break up with him and kind of try to rediscover myself for a little bit. I'm not involved.
Why don't you sit in a therapist's office and rediscover yourself?
That's a good idea, but I also think it's a great idea to end relationships when they're not working, when you're not happy. 22, cut your losses. Go ahead. That's
right.
Just fine. Well, a lesbian, whatever your reason is, it's not what you want right now. That is fine.
Yeah.
Do not feel guilty about that. Do not have to convince him or let him down easy. This is not where he should be either.
April.
Yeah.
You're 16.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank Dr. Drew because you guys are awesome. I just wanted to thank him for something that he told me when I called in earlier. He told me a certain phrase. It was, your boyfriend's finished with a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what made it click that I could, let go of him because even though he was still telling me he loved me, that it was over.
How long ago? It was a few weeks ago?
No, a couple of months, actually. And it was just an off-and-on thing to where he would tell me he loved me, so we'd hook back up.
Oh,
but
it's
then
one of those.
a week later, we hated each other.
Right.
And one of us would call each other.
Oh,
And now
so healthy that you just let that go.
Yeah, well, you're the only person who got through to me.
Oh, God bless you.
All my other friends, I just kind of blew them off.
They were telling you the same thing, though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were telling me the same thing, but I guess you phrased it right.
Well, look, they're 16-year-old screwballs.
Are you okay?
Please.
What?
Are you okay?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to, cope with everything because I think I have a real commitment problem. And so I was, really trying to hold on to him.
Yeah.
Really strongly.
But you're done.
Yes, I'm done with him.
And you're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you happier?
Yeah, yes, I think I am.
All right, you will be.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, you
April, doesn't piss you off, though, that Adam abuses me and takes advantage?
John, you're 18. What's going on?
Yeah, I was wondering if there are any adverse reactions to getting that genital piercing. I already have one.
Oh, flesh-eating bacteria. Aside from that, uncontrolled bleeding.
What genital piercing do you have?
Actually, I got my second PA, so now it's an ampelling.
Wait a minute. How do you get 2 PAs?
You get 2 PAs that are directly across from each other on the head of the penis.
And how does that make an ampelling?
An ampling is just a barbell that just goes straight from one side to the other. So,
But this has to be through the urethra. 2 holes in the
it goes
urethra.
straight through the urethra.
Oh my God.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
What's up with you, brother?
Nothing that I know.
Something's up with you, man. You got something going on.
I mean, I have regular cognitive development, yada, yada, yada. No
Something
beating up of me.
Something happened.
No?
You gotta have something going on. Nobody does that. That's insanity. That's crazy talk. What's up with you? You seem like an intelligent guy.
I had a normal childhood experience. I had 2 loving parents. They are still together. Living at home, going through college.
Yeah. You having like a chemical disorder?
No imbalances that I know of.
Yeah.
Unless something's going undiagnosed.
It's quite possible.
What led you to do this?
Just for the heck of it, pretty much.
Oh, I'm gonna take a guess here. John.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest with me.
Shoot.
Had to be some neighbor guy or something. Somebody touched the Pepe at some point when he didn't really want him to. I'm not talking about a relationship necessarily. Some guy made a move. Some camp counselor or something, right?
You know what? I've never been to camp, and my neighbors are very elderly women. So I doubt that I was ever touched.
Nobody monkeyed with the Johnson.
No one monkeyed with the Schwanz.
Really?
Are you gay, straight?
I'm sorry?
You gay, straight?
I'm straight.
It seems to me like you seem like a guy's trying to regain control over his penis. You know what I mean?
I think he hates his penis.
Are you mad at your penis, John?
I would love to beat up my penis. No, I'm not mad at my dick. I love my dick, and girls love my dick.
Well, why are you putting the holes in it? Oh, hold on. Hold on a second, John. Drew, what is he saying he has on his penis?
2 hoops. One going from the top through the urethra, and the other going from the bottom through the urethra.
Oh, it's going to have like the Olympic symbol on the end of his
exactly.
schlong.
Right. It's like the magician rings. Coming together. There's something. Let's keep digging.
You got to stick you got to stick something up the urethra and then pop out behind the head at the top and then behind the head at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct, John?
Yeah. Essentially, it goes underneath the crown where there are little ridges. Needle went up there, came out of the urethra, and the same exactly on the other side.
All right, hold on a second, John. I got to soak my penis in buttermilk. And get the buttermilk out of the freezer. I have to soak my Johnson.
I prefer the Devonshire cream.
Get Mike some of that hollandaise sauce, too. Man, it's my penis.
We got to
Okay, listen, we're going to take a break. We got to reconvene. Drew and I are going to have a little powwow. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to this John. We're going to find out what's going on. Because
maybe we should start betting.
Okay.
Take a real stand on this one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so come on down off the towers.
This is not your parents.
This is Violent J. And this is Shaggy 2 Dope from the Insane Clown Posse. And you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes. All righty. Those Insane Clown Posseans will be in here on Thursday night. Now let's get back to the phones. We're doing a little gambling on this call, but we don't want to steer our young caller in any direction. We already spoke to John. John has a hoop as a Prince Albert in his penis upwards and downwards.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It goes through the urethra and pops out behind the head of the penis.
I understand how they fit 2 rings through the urethra. How does pee ever come out?
Don't know, but
there's something that happened to them,
right.
and they may not be fully aware.
We both have our own theories.
Yeah.
John? Okay, you're a high IQ guy, right? You go to a good college?
It is a city college, but...
Oh!
Hold on, Adam. I actually chose this over the California State Universities and an out-of-state college. I'm in an honors program, if that helps any.
They have honors programs at the junior college?
Matter of fact, they do.
Wow.
It's higher than the city.
You know, it's like one of those, where they set those FEMA tents up to feed the hungry with the rice, like putting a buffet in one of those honors program at junior college. All right, John.
Yes.
Let's talk about your family for a second.
Shoot.
What does your dad do for a living?
My father's a doctor.
Uh-huh. And what does your mother do?
Doctor.
Uh-huh. And so your folks make a nice living.
You could say that.
And you come from a what you call a good environment.
Your stereotypical good American household, yes.
But even a step or two up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm in a good upper tax bracket here.
right. Yeah. Now, your parents work a lot.
Generally.
Yeah. How would you describe your mother?
My mother, anal explosive.
Uh-huh. She's angry, or
She's just very a perfectionist.
mm-hmm. And when she came into your room and it was a mess, or you were a mess, or you weren't taking care of yourself, she had a few things to say to you, right?
Yes, as all mothers do.
No. Mm-hmm. My mom locked herself in her bedroom and smoked weed.
Didn't come out for 3 years.
I crapped in my pants in 1968. I didn't clean it up until 73. She didn't say a goddamn word.
Okay, as many typical mothers do.
Yeah, but I get the feeling, and we're just trying to get to a truth here, John, and we're not accusing you of anything, but I get the feeling that your mom has a little more energy than most moms.
Intrusiveness.
I wouldn't say, no, she's not really intrusive.
But you said anal explosion.
Anal explosive, as she really dedicates herself to whatever project that she attempts to.
Including you.
I have yet to be one of her projects. She's occupying herself with my other siblings.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
What's up with them?
Let's see, I'm the youngest of 5. The oldest one is approaching 30. She's a ordained minister down there in Pasadena. Next one down.
I was getting PCC from John all the way.
Sorry?
Really? Pasadena City College?
I'm sorry?
You go to Pasadena City College?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
John?
Yep.
All right, I'm done.
Shoot.
What can be done with his penis, Drew, if he pierces it again? John, it just doesn't seem like a good plan. You got 2 hoops in it.
We were getting into it. We were both getting close.
Now here's... I was looking at Ann and Mike for a second, then I thought, oh, forget it. What Drew and I had said during the commercial...
To each other.
When we were stumped as to why John has 2 penis piercings and why it was frustrating us, my guess was, I said his parents both, they make a lot of money, even though he didn't say anything to indicate that before. And most our callers make under $1,200 a year. At least their families do. I said they make a lot of money, and Drew said his mother's a ball buster.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because even though John wouldn't really admit to his mother being a ball buster, when you say to someone, how's your mother, and they say anal explosive, and then they go back and soften it up when you start exploring it with them. Oh, nothing more than anyone else.
Yeah. There's something there. There's something there, but we're not going to. We have all night. So
very fun. Okay, I'm going to tell you something personal off the air, Drew.
Oh, like what?
I don't want. I won't get into the details because you know the family. I know the family, but this sounded when I was talking to John. I was thinking to myself, he sounds exactly like a guy I know and you know, whose mother is a doctor, and whose father is a very successful guy as well.
I'll try to figure out who that is.
Well, Drew, how many people do we both know whose mother's a doctor? All right, I'm not going to tell you anymore, Drew. Sarah?
Hey.
You're 19.
Yeah. I still haven't had an orgasm, and I've had sex for, like, I don't know, a couple of years, but I've had sex for about 2 guys, and I still haven't had an orgasm.
For 2 years and
So
for 2 guys.
I just wonder if anything is wrong with me, or...
That would be pretty common around 19.
Are they performing oral sex on you?
Yeah.
And no orgasm?
Right.
Do you masturbate? Do you masturbate?
Yeah.
And nothing happens?
Right.
Never had an orgasm?
Right.
Producer Ann?
What?
You want to jump in here? Producer Ann is here in case there's a young woman who hasn't had an orgasm. She can help them out. Ann? You there?
Yeah.
Sarah's never had an orgasm.
Ever.
But she's willing to try.
She's never masturbated?
Yes, she has.
And nothing happened?
Right.
How did you masturbate? What did you do?
What?
What did you do?
Well, I did everything I could think of.
With your finger, or did you use a vibrator, or?
Well, a finger and a vibrator.
And a vibrator, and it didn't work?
Right.
Where were you putting it?
What?
She
Well,
sounds
that
like,
makes a difference.
Sarah sounds like the caterpillar from Disney's Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
You know what? And sometimes, even if you have...
Yes.
You're just not maybe relaxed.
Are you?
I think maybe you need to relax a little bit. Maybe you're not letting yourself...
Sarah, you smoke a lot of pot?
No, not really.
Really?
I think I have a hard time of relaxing.
And that's it. That's because I think with women especially, we need to be completely relaxed
Yeah.
and able to let go, even when we're by ourselves.
Well, why don't you try the tub, Sarah? It's easier to relax
You know
in
what,
the tub.
though? The tub is a little bit more difficult.
Tub's a little more...
A vibrator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you got to situate yourself and...
Yeah, but the thing about the tub is it's a relaxing environment. You got
yeah,
the warm
but the
water.
stream of water you have to manipulate it more. And
You have to have some expertise.
yeah, that's something for
And it's her not sound like the caterpillar.
Yeah,
something
listen.
to work up to, maybe.
Yeah, that's so it's no place for a novice.
No.
Okay, I'll try that vibrator again, Sarah. And Sarah's funny
No,
because
you know what she needs to do? She needs to relax. She needs to look inside herself
It-
and see why she
Well,
won't
find
let
that
go.
place of intimacy, and it may be about having a relationship with somebody she cares about.
it's ironic that Sarah needs to relax because it was like she was on a handful of quaaludes.
On opium. That's what I thought of. Somebody like the caterpillar.
Oh.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, Sarah, relax and listen to producer Ann. Mike. All right. Mike had a serious bong thing going.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Long-time listener, first-time caller?
Hey, Mike. What was that, a bong in the background?
Yeah.
Wow. You actually sucking off a bong when we call you, or when we picked up on you?
Yeah. Okay,
Hey, that's bad timing, right?
What?
How much pot have you smoked tonight?
Not enough.
I know, but here's what I'm saying. You've been on hold for 42 minutes. Right? You've been on hold since the show started tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, you've been on hold since before the show started tonight.
Yeah.
How many bong loads have you done since you've been on hold?
I can't count that high, man.
Really?
No, I don't know, man. This is probably a couple, like 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
You just happen to hit one.
Did you find it a bizarre coincidence that right as you're sucking off the bong, I punch into you?
Yeah.
You know what I like about guys who smoke a lot of pot? They're undaunted.
Yeah, by any time.
It doesn't, nothing really seems to faze them.
Blunted is the word.
I was talking to my friend tonight, the wheeze, who was baked out of his brain when in my garage before I left. I gave him a little part from an airplane or something, and I said to him, "Hey, I'm buying this airplane off of this guy," and he said to me, "The Mustang," and I said, "No, not the Mustang, the Patriot." And then I went on to describe it for a minute, and he goes, "Why didn't you just buy that one the guy was selling the other day?" And I said, "That was a Mustang," and he goes, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "I just told you 10 seconds ago not." You stick with your idea when you're stoned.
Yeah.
I mean, you run with it.
Yeah.
Mike?
Hello?
Mike, listen to me, though.
Okay.
It really, being a burnout is kind of funny when you're 16, but then when you're like 23, it gets kind of pathetic. And when you're 35, it's sort of dangerous.
Okay.
And don't smoke so much pot.
Okay. I'll try to cut back. Actually, have been lately.
Well, we know that it affects brain development.
How much you been cutting back? You're on hold on a radio show. You're
Just trying to make me relax so I can go to sleep tonight.
We know that it affects brain development rather profoundly at your age, and it does. That's just
Yeah,
the
before
fact.
15, right?
let's not bum his
Right around
high too
15,
much.
yeah.
No, listen, he's 16. That's why he's not worried about it.
You guys are killing my buzz.
All right, Stonehenge, what do you want?
Yeah, my girlfriend thinks that I smoke pot too much.
Yeah, that crazy bitch. What is she talking about?
No, she just says that
The temerity.
No, she says I get a little mean to her when I smoke pot, and I don't think that's true. But she says I get really mean, and
Well, is there alcoholism in your family?
Yeah, my dad's alcoholic.
Imagine that.
Indian.
North American Indian.
Yeah.
What tribe?
I'm not sure. I think it's like a mixture of a couple of them.
What part of the country?
Just up like in the mountains, probably, but not even too far from here.
Tokes and Weedham?
Huh?
Too far from where?
From California, Central California.
You don't know what tribe you're from?
Nope.
Right.
I have it's in some papers written down somewhere. I mean, I'm not really paying attention. It doesn't matter to me.
Hey, I like that, Mike, by the way. I think people in this country sweat their heritage just a little more than they need to.
We're all going to be the same race in 50 to 100 years anyway.
Yeah, probably true, yeah. We'll all be Chinese, that's right.
Yeah, do you guys think that I should cut back on the weed a little?
Yeah. I'm going just based on the fact that you're sucking a bong load when I punched into you.
The problem is, Mike, you're addicted and severely addicted, and your biology is what predisposed you to this. Your dad's an alcoholic. North American Indian has a very, very strong biological burden for addiction.
Well, not that high. It's like 85%.
And more importantly, when it erupts, it's intense.
What
I've treated a lot of Indians.
Why? You did?
Oh yeah.
Whole tribes?
They get. Oof, that biology was very intense for them.
Why is it with the American Indians? Did the white man do that to them?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think addiction is a byproduct of natural selection. I think actually it is the people that survive better in extreme adversity tend to be addicts.
Yeah.
And North American Indians certainly had to withstand all kinds of
but what
adversity.
about paleface, putting them on the reservation?
That sort of create the social circumstances for the disease to flourish, but didn't cause the disease. Didn't cause the biology.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
It was more about being wiped out by the white man periodically. The survivors tended to be alcoholics.
Because they're just drunk in their teepees while everyone else getting their ass kicked?
They're actually better survivors.
Yeah, but I don't, you tell me that all the time. I don't understand what you mean by that. When there's a war to be fought and you're a drinker.
They're not drinking during that time at all.
Right.
They just have that biology. They have that brain.
Right. Okay.
And then they are much more present. I had a guy as a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
Listen, a recovering alcoholic said to me that day, he goes, I was in Vietnam. I was on a destroyer or something. He goes, and I was talking about Vietnam. I go, it must have been something, Vietnam. He goes, war suited me. War suited me. I thought, whoa, that's an alcoholic. They are just, they're into it.
No,
in adversity.
It is true. Guys who are alcoholics can, for instance, drink all night and off of 3 hours sleep go the entire next day.
That speaks of their sturdiness biologically, but they also are more present in really intense situations. When I talk to groups of addicts, I'll frequently ask, what would you do if Attila the Hun and 6,000 men started coming over the hill? Well, I'd pick some up and run at them.
Right.
You would? I'd run the other way. Oh, guess what? I get a spear in my back.
I'd pick something up, it'd be my nuts, and I'd run the opposite direction.
All
right, we'll take ourselves a little break. We'll be back after this.
Loveline, be right back in a minute. 1KFMA.
It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there, who really, for all his training.
What part of our world we're talking about?
For all of his training, just has a brain that's completely useless.
You are my teacher. Tell me what part of the world we're...
a show. You know what your brain is like, Drew?
A show dog? One of those...
Probably even worse. Well, you wouldn't know because you're too busy at the hospital. But
hey, I'm doing drugs.
You go to the auto show once in a while,
right?
And they have these like year 2005 concept cars,
Yes,
and you walk and they got a velvet rope around them, and you go, "Holy mackerel, that looks hot! Yeah. Wow, look at that! That's a Corvette for the year 2008. That is a wicked ride."
Made that cardboard.
And then what happens is you poke your head in, and you see it's there's like plywood and fishing string and stuff in. There's doesn't have an engine or anything in it yet. Right. That's your brain. Well, your brain should just be put on display somewhere.
This thing we're talking about.
And you walk around the backside of it, it's hollow.
Well, indeed. And then it's going to explode in a second if you don't tell me what part of the life.
Drew, I told you all the hints you needed to know about...
Just give me one more. Give me one hint. Give me one more.
I said there's a person that you and I know...
Right.
...whose mother...
Okay.
...is a doctor.
Right. And my statement to you was, I can't think of one person...
And I'm looking right back at you and telling you, you know this physician well, and you know the person.
I'm in pain.
As well. And it's, and have for many years. And it's ridiculous that you need any more hints about that. Heather.
Yes.
You're 19.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay, I have a question. When I was little, I think I was about 4 or 5, my mom runs a daycare center, and there was a little boy, and we used to do touchy-touchy on each other, I guess you would call it.
How old were you?
I was like 4 or 5.
Right.
Okay, and he was the same age.
Now that by your age could screw you up in terms of your sexual identity, and you could start using sex as a
weapon.
As you reach puberty, then you start acting these things out and having sex with either lots of people or nobody, and start using sex as a power tool, and it can really be a mess.
Right.
Well, what happened?
Well, just recently I've lost my virginity.
Yeah.
And I have slept with 3 different people, and none of them have been my boyfriend. And this is scaring my best friend. She's like, you need to quit.
When did you lose your virginity?
In February.
But you're 19.
Yeah.
That's fairly late. By Loveline standards, you would have been dead twice before most our callers, before natural causes.
There must have been a lot of health in their family.
They didn't. I don't know if they knew what went on when we were
I'm
little.
sure not. I'm sure not.
But the point is
you were victimized.
Somebody who loses their virginity at 19 and a half in this day and age is
ahead of the game. Doing okay.
Not someone I would say really has a problem with compulsive sexuality.
Right. But doing it 3 times in February with 3 different people.
Well, you got some momentum going.
Doing a little experimenting and all that, but that's not insanity.
Right.
No, we're not. You have some issues about your sexuality. Let's face it, and it may well pertain back to that early abuse. But you're not out. You're not. It's not the usual kind of damage that we're dealing with.
Listen, if that early abuse really affected you, you would have lost your virginity much earlier than 19 and change.
Right.
I mean, especially as a woman, hell, 13 years old, you're a woman these days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, afraid so.
And if somebody screwed with your compass a little bit and you're hell-bent on acting out, there's no way you would have lied dormant for those 6 years.
Here's what she needs to do. She needs to get a relationship and work some of the stuff out with that partner.
Right.
And she will be able to.
Okay. Jasmine?
Yeah?
You're 15?
Uh-huh.
What's going on?
Well, actually, it sounds kind of weird, but, I feel like my vagina, like, sticks out more than other girls.
Maybe you're gay.
More, you mean the outer lips are larger? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand what you're talking about, but it's like, it sticks out more, like when I'm wearing a bathing suit or something. It's like, it's not...
Like, you mean the bone sticks forward more?
Hold on. When he says the outer lips stick out further, you don't know what he's talking about?
No.
How do you just wake up with a new vagina or something? I mean, what would he... Well, use your imagination for a second here, Jasmine. When he says your outer lips, what do you think he'd be talking about? What part?
I don't know. Hello?
I mean, listen, when I was 15, I knew what the hell that was.
Well, I mean, I've gone to a private school since I was in 5th grade.
Okay. All right, listen, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but the part at the bottom, the only...
the 2 things that come together and sort of seal over the area where you urinate, let's say?
I kind of figured that out. That was the lips, but it's like it's the bone on top.
It's the bone sticks forward more.
Yeah, but
right,
I mean, it's kind of the bone. It might be fat or something.
All right. Well, the pubic bone can be more prominent in some people, and that's nothing wrong with that. Just you. All right.
Okay.
Don't worry. That's just you.
You're all right.
Okay, good.
Oh, you're 16 years old. What private school are you going to?
Faith Christian.
Yeah, you gotta go somewhere else.
I know.
That's a horrible institution. Okay?
Okay.
Faith Christian?
What?
Do you wear a uniform?
No.
Why not? Shouldn't you be wearing a uniform?
No, they just have a dress code, like,
All right, it's a uniform.
like no shorts and that kind of stuff.
Good. Is all girls school?
No.
It's called Faith Christian?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm always, and I think I'm always amazed by with religious titles. It's like, Hey, what church do you go to? Oh, it's the Holy Jesus God Church of God and Jesus Christ. It's like, oh, okay, hold on. Didn't you say the same thing like 4 times there?
Right.
And by the way, everyone who's naming a church or Christian school or something, don't work Jesus in too much. It's that's a no-dar. You know what I mean? It's like auto manufacturers writing car after the title.
It's like automobile parts for the automobile.
Right. No, it'd be like Corvette car
parts.
No, just on the side of the car.
Right, I see.
So we get that part. We understand. You know, to keep going with it. You ever talk to people like that? You go,
oh, yeah.
What church you go to on Sunday? The religious Christ, Jesus God Christ, religious faith, Holy God Jesus Christ. It's the Church of Christ Jesus. Hey, no ass. You pick a name. Do they all have to do that, Drew? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not all of them, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I go to the St. Christ Jesus Prayers, Holy God Christ, Church of Holy Christ and Praying People. Okay. Have fun. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to torture Drew a little more, and we'll be back.
Operators are standing by. Loveline will be back in a minute.
It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. He is Dr. Drew. He's going insane now.
I am going insane now.
Because I told him half hour ago that there's a doctor, a female doctor that we both know, and she is the mother
of somebody that sounded like
a caller. It didn't sound like, just reminded me of in a weird way, and we know him as well. And
I suddenly can't think of a single female physician I know.
Drew is calculus. Drew is racking his brain, and I have declared this such an easy piece of trivia, Drew, and also giving a little insight to the father,
a powerful man,
that I refuse to give you any more hints. You can just go insane. Okay?
That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Nick.
Yeah.
You're 15.
The what I'm stuck on, here's where I'm swimming, is I can't think of a single female physician I know that you know. I mean, I cannot come up with one.
Well, that's insanity.
Yeah.
That is total insanity, Drew.
Yeah.
Total insanity.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah.
I got to apologize for Drew. He's not going to be right until I rectify this situation. Yeah. He'll be listening with one ear. So go ahead, Nick. You're 15.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend been going out for a while, and then all of a sudden she started talking about marriage, and she got really excited.
How old is she?
She is 15 also.
Well, she's no spring chicken anymore. A woman's got to start thinking about the future.
What kind of awful family?
I mean, 15 is still relatively young, but by the time a couple years goes by, you blink your eyes, and it's all over with. Menopause is set in.
I just wonder what kind of awful family.
Well, is there any chance it might work out?
No.
No.
We would say no.
Well, if you got married at 15 and didn't see each other again until you're in your 35,
might.
I think it might work out.
Now, is there a zero chance? No, it's not a zero probability, but what would you give it, 2%? 1%?
Yeah, I go to about 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
But here, listen, y'all, to all, when you say there's just a small chance it'll work out, understand that you're not going to defy those odds. That whole notion that, hey, it's me, so it's going to work. Now, picture just a nice big roulette wheel, and it's carved up into 100 sections, and one of them is red, and all the rest of the entire wheel is black. That is the chance you got.
That's right.
How much you going to bet on that? Hey, Nick?
Yeah?
What's up with her family?
I don't know. Her mom's just, very defiant, and I used to work for her mom, and she don't like me anymore because I stole something while I was working for her. And,
you're working at her house, right?
Nah.
At her business?
Yeah.
What kind of business?
Oh, she was the boss, and we went around selling papers for her. And I stole a cell phone with this one kid out of a phone.
With the what?
I stole a cell phone with this one kid.
with this one kid.
Yeah.
Okay. She, like, what was she selling? Newspaper subscriptions?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
It was about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Was she working out of her house?
Yeah.
You know what was really funny? When Nick said, I work for her mom, I thought to myself, wait a minute. I was picturing her mom like owning a business.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought,
not right.
her mom's a loser.
Right.
So I thought, well, Nick must have worked at mom's house and stole something from her house, like raking leaves or something. And then he said, no, she had a business. And I went, that sounds weird. But she sold newspaper subscriptions out of her den, right?
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't nothing of hers. It was like.
Right. It was the phone they give away when people sign up.
Yeah, and then her mom found out recently, and then she threatened to move her to Alaska.
Oh boy.
What'd she find out? You mean about you guys getting married?
No, just about us going out, or I don't even know if she found out about us going out, but about us talking.
Yeah.
Just because she don't like me, she threatened to move her to Alaska.
Yeah, well, okay.
Well,
where's she live now?
She still lives here.
She's not going to be an emancipated minor.
What city do you live in, Nick?
Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Alaska's basically it's Arizona West, isn't it?
North.
North.
Be fair.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to.
Northwest. Yeah.
All right. So listen to me, Nick.
Yeah.
Don't get married. And
don't get anybody pregnant.
Don't get anybody pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, don't steal any more cell phones.
Okay.
Other than that, you're fine.
Yeah.
And there's no dad around, is there?
No.
No, of course not. Okay, and I'm betting you. Here's what happened, Nick. Her husband was not a great guy, and so the mom worries that you're not a great guy.
Oh.
Because she don't want to see her daughter make the same mistake she did.
And lo and behold,
she may be doing that. So be a good guy, would you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Please don't get anyone pregnant. Please.
I won't.
All right. Just goes to show you there's always the story doesn't vary much. Always know the story. Drew, you still going nuts with this doctor thing?
Yep.
Okay. Take that to your grave. Diana?
Yes.
You're 25.
Yes, I am.
What's going on?
Okay, well, about 2 years ago, I left my husband, and now we are divorced, and we have 2 children.
Hold on. I got to butt in for a second. Ask Sherry. Sherry, do you screen out a lot of calls of, people just call in to say they're in love with me? You do that? Because I swear to God, I've been doing this show for 3.5 years. I got like one call from someone who said something nice about my parents.
What is the matter with you?
I just mean it's part of the reason I got into this. And, night after night after night, it's people with their own problems.
So you won't be able to call in to build you up tonight?
No,
are you high or something?
No, I just want. I thought the whole thing with being in radio, it's like every third or fourth call, some chick would call in and go, "You're really hot. Can I meet you?" And then I'd go, "No, you can't do that.
You're great. You're funny. You're my God.
You're my stern but groovy master, Adam."
That crap all the time.
Yeah, but it's nothing sexual,
You don't know, for God.
I thought that it just annoyed you when the girls just loved you. And
so you're screening them like a sieve.
Yeah, so I've been screening them out.
That's a full-time job, right?
Adam,
okay.
I need help.
All right,
I think he's losing it tonight.
That's all I needed. All right, Diana.
Now, this thing I'm trying to think, are you sure this person's a physician?
Drew, when I tell you, you are going to, like a cartoon, your head's going to open up and the steam's going to pour out of your collar. You understand?
Eyeballs will fall out.
That's right.
Oh, for God's sake.
All right, so anyway, Diana.
Okay, well...
What do you think of me?
Oh, that's my brother. Anyways,
Ooh.
About a month after I left my ex-husband now, I got with someone else, and we've been together for 2 years now, and we now have an 8-month-old child.
You have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids.
And you're 25.
Yes, I am.
How long were you with your ex-husband?
5 years.
So from age, 19 or something?
18 to 23.
Uh-huh. Is this new guy a younger guy?
No, he's older.
How old is he?
He's 29.
Is he taking care of all the kids?
Well, actually, we only have our 8-month-old. I'm in a child custody battle with my ex.
And he's got the other 2?
Yes.
Oh, you must be doing a bang-up job as a mama.
I actually am a very good mother.
Well, Diane, it's unusual for the courts to take the children away from mom.
Yes, I know that.
Why did that happen?
Because he used the fact that I was molested as a child against me and that I needed counseling because of it.
Most people do.
Well, I was in counseling for several years after that, and I was a housewife for, my daughter was 3 when we separated, and he had no problem leaving her with me then, and it's just, the district attorney already told him that he'd be paying $950 a month in child support, and I think that's really what it's about, but...
All right, but it still brings us back to the point that in order for kids to be taken away from mama,
something must be going on.
There's got to be something going on, and the fact that mama was a victim when she was younger is, I don't think, enough.
Found a new guy a month later.
Well, actually, he was like a family friend. And
what else? What else did this guy?
Problem. My family kind of chose my ex-husband's side because of how quickly I got with someone else, and that it was a family friend and that type of thing.
So your family sided
with my ex-husband.
So like a little testimony,
I guess.
Meaning your family helped your ex-husband.
Yes.
Your own family
is still helping him. Yeah.
Is still help.
My aunt keeps my kids on the weekends.
Don't you think they must have some very serious concerns about your stability?
I don't know why they would.
It would be basically unheard of for a family to do that just because you got another relationship.
Well, they don't.
They were very concerned about the child because of your behavior, substance use, or who the guy is you've jacked up with.
Which one is it?
No, it's more like they didn't know anything about our marriage, and so they didn't see that there was any reason for me to leave him.
How badly were you abused growing up?
When I was a child?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
For 4 years. It was like a daily thing with my mom's boyfriend.
From what age to what age?
From 7 to 11.
Is there any chance you're a multiple?
Yeah, there's a chance of that.
All right, so you don't know what you do sometimes.
No,
Diana.
I've had I've had counseling from the time I was 11 until I was 18.
That's good.
When I graduated from high school, which I dropped out at 7th grade, and I went back in 9th grade and did 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then completed high school with my regular class. So I've done what I was supposed to do, and I've totally changed my whole life.
If you're a multiple, you could dissociate and not know what you do in certain circumstances.
Oh, only if you're not in counseling, and if you if you have
even in the best of
time
circumstances.
gaps and
yeah, do you have time gaps right now?
No.
Right, but Diana,
the more stable my life is, the less they're involved.
Diana,
the less they're involved.
Yeah.
Your alters.
Yeah.
So you do have alters.
Yes.
All right. So you have alters, Diana. I mean, we don't know. This is what this is all about. Okay. You have alters, and you've not come.
Meaning you have multiple personalities.
And you
alter egos.
Except other people inside her, and some of them may be violent, and some of them you may not know what they're capable of, and you may not remember what you've done.
But
it's not like that.
And you've not been through you've not mentioned the term reintegration therapy, and so when you were getting all that counseling all those years, they may not even identified you as a multiple.
Well, I was out of counseling from the time I was 18 until this last year.
Yeah.
Hey, Diana.
Yes.
You're 8 months pregnant now?
No, I have an 8-month-old son.
What medication are you on?
I'm not on any.
Oh, and this is the product. This 8-month-old son is the product of the new relationship.
Yes.
Hey, can you sterilize yourself, please?
And why would that be?
Because you got 3 kids already.
Yes, I work a very good job too.
That seems like a lot for you. Can you please do that?
You know what? I probably wouldn't have. No, I'm not going to do it for you. I'll do it when I'm ready.
Well, not for me. I'm talking about for humanity.
Well,
I'm looking at the big picture.
I'm looking at the big picture too.
I got a gate around my house. I'm worried about the poor people with no barriers.
Well, now look, listen, let's not get too harsh about this. That her being a multiple doesn't mean she can't be a mom.
I'm just saying three kids.
Thank you very much.
No, it does. No,
it doesn't.
No, I know, but you have 2 kids you don't see already.
I do see them.
Yeah, but that's sort of what we're working on, Diana. Is that our suspicion is your perception is inaccurate, and that these people have seen something awful go down, and they feel they must take the kids away, and that's the part we're concerned about, and that To the extent that you're on meds or you're in mitigation therapy or things are under control.
All right, listen, Diana, we got to wrap this up. I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry for what happened to you in your past life. I would urge you to do everything you can for your kids, and please don't have any more. That is my my only request. Take care of your new man.
As you said, your ultras are less present when your life is stable.
That's right.
And more kids will be more stressful.
But you don't even know why I left my husband or anything. You didn't even...
No, we know why you left your husband.
Why?
He was abusive.
How was he abusive?
Well, however, your dad,
whoever abused you when you were a kid.
However, your biological dad abused your mom is how this guy abused you.
No.
Yes.
I guess you might be close, yeah.
All right.
But
listen, we don't need any more. Don't worry. We don't need to know. You don't have to tell us. We know. It's just like you didn't
get to my question.
We know why your kids aren't with you.
No, you don't.
We just told you why.
No.
What was your first answer?
My ultimate reason that my kids are not with me is because he's the one that went to the courts first, and I was a housewife, unfortunately, and didn't have a job.
No, that's
because you have multiple personalities.
No, excuse me? That's why I didn't have a job and a place to live.
No?
I didn't have a job and a place to live when we went back to court the very first time, and that's why he has custody. We have joint custody.
Okay.
He's considered their sole primary caretaker.
All right. I'm just saying, please look after your kids as best you can. Take care of yourself, too. Would you please?
Well, you guys are a bundle of help. Thank you.
All right. Well, what is your question?
My problem is that my 5-year-old, she's 5 now, she's begging me to go back to her daddy, and there are times that I feel like I should, just so that I can have my children.
You have them, you said. You have joint custody.
We have joint custody,
okay,
but
so you have them.
He has them Monday through Friday. I have them Saturday and Sunday. That's not enough.
Okay, but you have an 8-month-old. That's all yours, right?
Yes.
What would happen to the 8-month-old?
He doesn't take their place.
I know, but what would happen to the 8-month-old if you got back together with your ex-husband?
He would have to accept him. He would have to accept my...
Yeah, but what if that 8-month-old wants his daddy back? You see what you've created here? You better stay away from the abusive guy, I think, and keep a lot of structure in that relationship. I think that's your best bet. And certainly, I don't understand why a 5-year-old keeps asking about Dad if she's with him 5 days a week.
She wants them to get back together so she
which
can
is,
see.
Which is the fantasy, but that's not right. It's not reality here.
All right. Meanwhile, and I got to bring this up after every screwball calls in this show, but meanwhile, I'm on month number 4 of trying to get a goddamn house put above my garage. And the city, no. I know I go on this jag every time, and I know many of you are tired of hearing it, but it drives me insane. It drives me crazy that we live in a society where we would not dream for a second of taking reproductive rights away from the Dianas of the world. She's got more problems than you can shake a stick at. What do you think? What do you guys think of that 8-month-old?
Oh.
What kind of chaotic, screwball, crazy world is she being brought up with? Think about the new guy Diana's hooked up with, the old family friend. Think about Daddy, or the
one that's got the kids.
The one that's got the kids, and his history of abuse, and Diana's multiple personalities, and everything under the sun. We would never dream of tampering with her, but I want to put a goddamn roof on my garage, and I got to get down and blow half a city hall and pay the rest of them off. That drives me insane. It drives me nuts. It kills me. Why? Oh, okay, that's it. I'm disgusted with all of you. True?
Yeah.
You figured out who that doctor is?
No, I'm just letting you go on your rant while I search my memory banks here.
Well, I'm going insane. And let me just say one more thing. I know it's been a half hour since we've taken a call, but let me say this, too. Don't try to fool Drew or myself with this, I lost custody of my 2 kids. How come? He got a lawyer first. Now, what is the first thing we said to her? That's ridiculous.
Well, we said that for them to take it away from the kids away from the mom.
No.
Yeah, there's some substantial reason.
And what was her first reason why the kids
he went to the courts first. He got his foot in the door for us. The DA liked him.
Right, right.
please.
And just like the call before when the kid worked for this woman, and I was picturing some sort of Bed Bath and Beyond that she managed or something. I was like, thought to myself, that is ridiculous.
Impossible.
And then it got to the paper route that she ran out of her trailer, and I thought, yes, now. Ridiculous. Thank you. Bob?
Yeah.
You're 14?
Yeah, that's right.
We talked to our last caller for like 10 minutes, so we only have 20 seconds with you. What's going on, brother?
Oh, well, I have like a friend, lady friend who's,
Lady friend. You're 14.
Yeah.
I'm 14, Bob.
No, not like that. We're supposed to be just friends.
They traveled to Milan last week. Yeah.
We're just supposed to be friends, right?
Right.
And but recently we've been like playing around, doing stuff like that. And but she always says, after this kind of stuff happens, I'm just playing around, no hard feelings, I hope, stuff like that. So it's just kind of difficult to handle that, because I'm just trying to, because I really like her, but
Well, you're screwing around physically?
yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, just hand stuff and just
making out.
Yeah.
Like second base?
Yeah. We haven't gone all the way or anything.
And she's not into this relationship?
Huh?
And she's not into this relationship, or she is?
Well, no, I mean, that's the whole point. It seems like she is, but then, like, afterwards, she starts talking about, like, an old boyfriend or something,
Well, she's insecure. She's into you.
Yeah, you got to ask her out and ask her to be your girlfriend and clarify things. She's trying to protect herself in case you aren't taking this as seriously as she is.
Right. Hope,
Yes.
you're 35.
Yes.
What's going on there, Hope?
Well, I went and paid Dr. Drew and Adam, love you both, and everything.
Thank you.
And, just a little embarrassing and stuff, but, I had several questions, but, Dr. Drew, are you still thinking about coming out to Colorado?
I really want to. Here's my thinking now is
2003.
No, my thinking is
that's when he makes his Colorado run.
First of all, I am available. If I can be useful to that community, because it seems to me those are listeners of ours, it's irresponsible of us not to help in some way.
You should go down there.
Whatever I can do, whether it's shoveling snow in the winter or
Well,
whatever.
Adam, I think you should come too, because maybe if y'all came here and gave a seminar or something, you could get to the point of like, what the hell is wrong with these people's parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like Adam, you talked about it. Why aren't we hearing about what was wrong with the parents?
We could tell you. If we could interview the kids, we could tell you.
There's
I know. I just, I sat there and said, well, Mom was probably sitting there with a, martini, and Dad was, whatever.
Physically abusive.
I can just like picture, what happened.
Listen, it is like
hey, Bobby's building a bomb in the basement. Well, honey, you'll put your eye out. Don't do that.
It's like the FAA writing down for the cause of a plane wreck, the ground.
Yeah.
What was the culprit? Why did the plane crash? The ground. I blame it on the ground.
The ground just came up and hit it.
Or it came down and hit the ground. Either way, it was doing fine.
Yeah, until it hit the ground.
No one could deny that if it never hit the ground, that plane wouldn't be in one piece right now.
That's right.
That's what it is. And I don't understand now why you don't want to comb through the wreckage like they do. I mean, like when there's a plane crash, they go, Jesus Christ, there's another 1,500 DC-10s in service right now. And if there's a problem with one of these things, if there's a problem with the ailerons or the flaps, we better find out. We better find out in a hurry because something like this could happen again. And they comb through the wreckage in painstaking detail.
DC-10s are going to go down.
Right.
So they're thinking about their kid. If they had any other.
But
kids,
instead,
maybe the state should be thinking about taking them away from them.
Instead, Elton John writes a song, and they interview the guy who runs the hardware store where they bought the nails for the bombs. That's as far as it goes.
My thing, I would prefer not to go out there now for two reasons. One is there's still too much press lurking around there, and I don't want to be a part of all that. Number two,
this weekend you're going to Wet and Wild.
These kids are so all their cultural events and things that would have kept them together at a time when they needed one another have been canceled. So they're all sort of distributed back into their homes, and I imagine their community sort of fractured. So I sort of see maybe the new year when the school reconvenes as an opportunity. I'll go now if anybody wants something done, but. I'm thinking a couple months down the line.
I don't know, Drew. They just had the Star Wars convention out there.
But if anybody, listen, you can call. Listen here, you can call Ann Wilkins at 818-567-1067. If anybody has an idea where we can be of use.
All right. So anyway, Hope, ask
Well,
your.
that wasn't even the question.
Well, let's take a break and get back to Hope.
All right.
Hope, hang on a sec, okay? Hope,
can you do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And it's a question involving the clitoris being desensitized by either gallons and gallons of water being poured upon it or C-cell. Watching too much violence. We'll be back.
Okay, so come up here for a second.
They are treading water in a sea of retarded sexuality.
Loveline. Exclusively on Tucson's New Rock. 92.1 KFMA.
All right. Dr. Drew is still going insane over here. Drew, are you going nuts?
Was I thinking properly in terms of the overlaps in our life?
Age-wise?
No. Age-wise, I have to be right.
Right.
And then in terms of where I'm looking in our lives.
Yeah, you mean looking at the groups of people that we know
overlap,
together?
Yeah.
What do you mean where you're right?
I mean, is it any of those areas, those spheres I'm thinking and thinking?
None of those spheres that you're working in.
For God's sake.
I'm in pain
right now. I'm in pain.
Yes, he's going insane, everybody. All right.
How could there not be an overlap? Oh.
You mentioned 3 or 4 groups of people that we all that we knew.
Yeah.
And it was none of them.
But those are the only areas we overlap.
True. I'm telling you, when I tell you the answer to this, pathetically, I want you to reach in your wallet, I want you to pull it out, and then I'm going to sodomize you. I didn't want any money, it's just a wallet would be in the way.
I'm in pain.
Okay.
I will be.
Hope?
Yes.
All right, so you're it says here your clitoris is desensitized.
Well, I'm guessing that's what's happening. It's and I was listening to one of y'all's shows the other night, and they were harassing you about masturbating every night, and you're like, no, it's perfectly normal, and and I was like going, well, maybe it's not normal, and then recently, for me, it's like, and I was thinking about, does this happen to guys too? But it's harder to do.
Yeah, it's more normal for women to get desensitized like that, and what we were attacking Adam for was being in a relationship and continuing his habitual patterns.
I've got a break since I'm not in a relationship.
Right. So,
you mean my personal relationship with Jesus Christ?
That one.
Come on, Drew.
Well, I kind of, I was thinking about that too, because I was, thinking, well, but I was thinking maybe he was using it to to get calm and go to sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't you normally get calmer and go to sleep after? I mean, really.
What are you laughing at?
That's one of the reasons. I mean, it's not the reason I do it. I mean, it was really weird because I was, I was married for 10 years, and then I got divorced, and then I had a relationship.
With a 17-year-old guy.
No, he was my exact same age. The only person I ever dated who was my exact same age.
Wow.
And it was wonderful. I mean, it was like I was 30, and so life was great. I mean, I was.
All right. So you're how often you using the vibrator?
Well, really not that often, but I guess since more recently, I've maybe once every 3 nights or something.
Yeah, that doesn't sound excessive.
But before, I mean, a couple of months before, it was like maybe once a month.
Yeah. All right. That has not caused any damage.
Not damage, but she'd be able to desensitize. If she stops, it'll be fine.
Once a month, and then once
every couple nights is now desensitizing her. That's her thing.
I don't like to come down too hard on people who masturbate. And Drew, ever since you started pinning me with this masturbatory stuff, I've been off my game.
I'm sorry. No wonder you're so irritable and disturbed.
Yeah, you better hope I get back on that horse.
Why don't you get going there? It's sort of typical of sexual addicts. In fact, they get a whole withdrawal syndrome going, and But be that as it may, you were much better to deal with when you were compulsively preoccupied.
Listen, if you call 4 times a week compulsive, please.
Yeah.
As it is, I probably once in the last 4 nights. That ain't much, brother.
I can't go on with the show.
I'll be back tonight. Don't worry.
No, I can't go on the show. I'm preoccupied about it.
You're going insane. No. This is a fun thing to do. I drive Drew insane with some sort of puzzle or riddle at the top of the show, and then he goes through the entire show with 3/4 of his brain dedicated to that riddle or puzzle.
Yes.
Dee?
Hi.
You're 20.
Yep.
Leaving himself soft and vulnerable. I can get to his underbelly.
Okay.
All right. Whatever. Go ahead there, Dee.
Well, I'm just kind of nervous because I'm going to go visit my dad. I haven't seen him since my mom passed away. And I'm bringing my boyfriend home. So
When did your mom pass away?
December 12th of last year.
And why haven't you seen him in that period of time?
We're not really close. My dad's like, I don't know, stretched out.
Starched
Former
out?
military, yeah.
Stretched out. Starched out.
Starched.
Oh,
Very
starched
dry.
out.
Yeah,
Military
no
guy.
sense of humor, really.
Oh.
I don't know.
And were they together?
Yeah, well, my parents were married for 22 years.
And you didn't see him in and around your mom's death?
No, well, I've been with I'm always, like, I was my mom's bartender, pretty much.
Oh.
Took care of her, you know.
She was an alcoholic.
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
like,
boy.
she died from liver failure, kidney failure, and poisoning in the stomach.
Oh, my God.
All at the same time?
Yeah.
That's
My dad found her at home. And
That's sort of a typical alcohol death.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
What happens? Just...
Well, the bleeding from the stomach is usually esophageal varices. It's just like you have varicose veins in your legs. You can get them inside your esophagus when you have cirrhosis, and when they break loose, you bleed to death in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I have kidney problems myself. I used to drink a lot when I was with her, but
Interesting. We can talk.
drinking.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. But the kidney problem associated with end-stage liver disease is called a hepatorenal syndrome, where the liver the kidney doesn't function properly as a result of the liver dysfunction.
Is Paterino, is that where pate comes from with the liver?
No.
Made sense to me.
No.
All right, Dee, you used to do a lot of drinking with your mom. I would never, I talked to some people like, yeah, me and my dad dropped acid. Me and my mom got loaded. Me and my dad drank a bottle of Jack the other night. Can you imagine getting good and loaded with your parents? First off, I'd probably come on to my mom if I got too drunk.
Well, I wasn't drinking to drink. I was really drinking to be close, to have that kind of bond.
Right.
I'm the middle child, so
Yeah, but if you drank enough to be developing end organ problems, we got a serious thing going here.
I've had kidney problems when I was born.
All right. Anyway, so I don't want to... No. What's your question?
She was hitting the bottle. She was really hitting the bottle. Hi-hat, Mike. Come on. Where's that?
Anywho, I'm kind of nervous because my boyfriend is a little bit older than I am. And, well, he's 34.
Okay. He's an alcoholic, no doubt, but
No,
go
he's
ahead.
not. He doesn't drink. I finally went after a good guy this time. But,
so why are you nervous about bringing him home to Dad?
because I have really high expectations, even though I know it's foolish to have them.
In other words, you don't want to be let down by Dad's...
Yeah.
Why are you even bringing him home?
Well, we're going to Kansas to go to my fiance's brother's graduation, and I want to see my dad.
What's your fiance's brother graduating from?
College?
Really?
Yeah.
University of Kansas?
Yeah, I don't know why he's over there, but that's...
You and I were over there. Remember that ride from Kansas City to University of Kansas?
Vaguely.
Oh, come on.
Were you
that car that wasn't roadworthy for 30 miles an hour?
I thought that was in... it
was Kansas.
Oh, it was Kansas City. That's right. You're right. Okay, listen, Dee.
Yeah.
I think your dad is going to disappoint you.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Whether you bring him, don't bring him, whatever it's going to be unpleasant.
I think you're going to be set up for that, and I think he's going to disappoint you.
It's going to break my heart no matter what.
That's what I think. I really do. And I
still want that relationship. I've always been jealous of my sister because she was close to me.
I know. I don't know why women... I really don't know why girls get so... I mean, biologically get so freaked with their parents. I mean, with daddy, especially. And the problem is daddy drinks, or daddy's an a-hole, or daddy withholds love, or whatever it is, and they gotta. I'll tell you, I mean, I hate to sound like such a clod, but my family and I we're a little... we didn't get along great when I was growing up. I mean, you know, and I just figured out early on that, hey, they were kind of screw-ups. In my book, and I just kind of moved on with life. And now I see him, and I talk to him, and I like him, but I don't feel any of that, like, I got to, need to, want to. It's like, I know
pick up where I got disappointed.
My dad is my dad.
Yeah.
My mom is my mom. They're good people, but I realize they have weaknesses, and I never go back looking for them.
I just figured it out.
You did.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where I went wrong. I was thinking of people who are here now. I'm working with. I'm like stuck in the here and now.
All right. Well, we'll talk. Drew has figured out the riddle, by the way. We'd tell you, but you guys wouldn't even know their name. So it was just a one to drive Drew nuts.
But the caller reminds me nothing.
All right.
Of the guy you're referring to. Nothing. Me.
Listen to me, jackass. I got something to say here.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to break and we'll argue. Your family, everybody, if they turn out to be good people, God bless them and love them for the rest of your life. If they turn out not to be great people, and you spend your entire life trying to get Daddy to do something that Daddy's not capable of doing, you're going to have a very unsatisfying life. You got to move on at some point. I know it's painful. Get a little therapy, read a book, get a new man, and move on. That's it. That's it. Okay. We'll be back.
Loveline will be right back. Loveline will be right back.
Hello. It's the Loveline. Well, Madam Carolla, that is Dr. Drew over there, the greatly relieved, the unburdened Dr. Drew.
You got to give me exercises like that every night. Maybe I'll free my mind like yours.
No, you know why? Because your mind has been so trained by the man that you can't break loose, man. Now, if you want to do some mushrooms with me, like on Sunday night before we come in here, and we could really just... Hey, Drew?
Yeah?
When was the last time you took your shoes off and really felt your feet in the sand?
Oh, dude.
You know what I'm saying, brother?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're all wrapped up in peachy folders and binders, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, man.
Not everything's a pie chart, brother. You got to break free of the shackles of your mind. Dan?
Yeah.
You're 21.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right. The question that I have today is, my wife has a disease called sickle cell anemia, and that...
Adam, you ever heard that?
Is she black?
Yeah.
Oh, shocked.
She has... Basically with that, she has a lot of pain, and...
I'm going to stop you for 1 second, Dan. You know where sickle cell basically developed from is the less... I don't want to say this in such a way people understand it, what's called the heterozygote state, the sort of carrier state, protected against malaria.
Yeah.
And so people...
Oh, right, so they survived.
So that gene got preserved. See?
Right. But why is sickle cell 90% in the black community, or is it 100%, or is it 50%?
I believe it's mainly...
That's
it's about
90%. Yeah, I'd say 90% too.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. How do you pass it on? Like, if you have a kid with a black woman and you're white, do you have a mulatto kid who has sickle cell?
Probably a carrier.
Probably?
Yeah, if the one parent had it. So, Dan, what's the question?
She has to take Percocet for the pain episodes.
When she's having crisis.
Yeah. And unfortunately, her crises have become more and more frequent, and she's trying to...
Hey, I'm having a crisis with my ear, Dan. Would you leave that phone alone?
Yeah, she's trying to do it the right way and take it only for pain because she knows that it's addictive. But unfortunately, even doing that, she's starting to notice that she's having to take it to get to sleep and stuff like that, and noticing some addictive signs.
Has she been an addict in the past?
She does have a somewhat addictive personality, but not to... She hasn't been addicted to anything like that. Like,
what do you mean when you say she had an addictive?
She was addicted to smoking and...
Anything else?
No, that's all.
I don't know that's an addict necessarily, and I make a distinction between dependency and addiction. That anybody with pain is going to become dependent on opiates and have withdrawal symptoms when they try to reduce them.
What do you do for sickle cell?
It depends how bad and what kind of complications they're having. But basically, when they get in a crisis, you control the pain and you hydrate them and give them blood products. Is that the kind of stuff she's going through?
You mean like jerky?
Yeah, that's it, Adam.
Well, that's a blood product. Dan, are you white?
Yeah.
How's your relationship going?
Oh, it's going good.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. People with sickle cell, bona fide sickle cell disease, typically have chronic pain. And if she's having difficulty managing the pain and she's starting to escalate her use of these very strong opiates, she should be seen by a chronic pain clinic, pain management specialist, who can keep their eye on the addictive side of this, get them on medication and better schedules of medication, and alternatives to the opiates that might help reduce the amount of opiates she's using. The fact that she's dependent on it doesn't necessarily mean she's an addict.
What if she puts, like, magnets in her shoes?
That won't do crap.
Dude, I've been seeing a lot of magnets around
I know.
lately.
That must be the answer.
Magnet?
You know when things catch on, it's because they're the answer.
Yeah.
In the years you've worked with it, you've probably seen a few waves of some stuff come and go already, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of magnets lately.
Yeah.
A lot of magnets, in the shoes, magnet shoe inserts.
Yep.
Magnets, like wristbands and magnets you hang around your neck. You know what I was thinking of on the airplane the other day, Drew?
Mm-hmm.
People are always using refrigerator magnets to pin notes up and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been going on for many years now. Why not just make refrigerator doors magnetized? That way you could use a spoon or something.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than those ugly refrigerator magnets.
What if you had a pacemaker or something, you walk by and...
Like Grandpa stuck to the door? And you had to open it by grabbing his belt and sliding him and his slippers across the floor, and then you got a beer and slammed him shut.
It's like a Simpson episode.
Preston.
Yeah.
You're 17.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Me and my girlfriend were messing around, doing the whole mess around thing, kissing, making out, and we decided to have sex, and so I went out and got a condom, and I came back, and we were fooling around again. Then I put it on, and then I lost my erection.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so what's that all about?
Were you a virgin at that point?
No, I've had sex many times, but this was when I was 15, so this is a couple years ago.
Yeah, it gives you time to think. I mean, it's like a barroom fight wouldn't be a barroom fight if they sat each guy down and they had to put a condom on, or do the equivalent to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you started getting into a fight with a guy at a bar, and then people tore you apart and sat you down and said, listen, we're going to put some gloves on you. Hold on a second. First, let us tape your hands.
Yeah.
Well, by the time they got one glove on, you'd be like, let's go home.
Yeah.
And there's a certain momentum you have, a certain energy you have, certain adrenaline pump. And when you stop it and you stare at your penis for a while, you get kind of freaked out. You think about it too much.
Right, and this is the first time, and it's anxiety-provoking. He's running out to get a condom in the middle of things, and it will happen to every guy eventually. And don't freak out about it, because the more you do, the more likely it is to happen again.
Right.
So just find ways to incorporate the condom into the whole behavior, and make sure you use it. Don't think of this as a reason not to use condoms.
And do what I
and purchase the Carolla condom loader.
No, I am dead serious on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Listen, guys, you know when you go to those, Planned Parenthood or going to some sort of gay pride parade or something, and they just have buckets of condoms, just reach in and grab a handful of condoms. And then go home, and when you're jerking off that night,
drill.
Drill. Like a drill team, though, not like a drilling rig.
Right.
And practice putting that condom on. And have an erection, get a little excited, and then see how long you can do, like a volunteer fire department. See how long it takes you to get that condom on. Get your penis used to it, because if you really think about it, a guy's erect penis will never, ever see a condom except for pow when it's too late.
How would that PSA sound? What would the little aphorism? Take a bite out of crime, and get your penis used to it, and...
it'd have something to do with practice makes perfect or something like that. I don't know who we'd use. I think like a rooster. Just because of the obvious reason. All right, hey, Drew, Southwest Airlines, are they owned by United or something?
No.
They have the tampering with, destroying, or disabling the smoke detector when you fly. I noticed on the way. But they don't all do all three of them.
Yeah, like Northwest just went no messing with. Don't touch it.
Right. As Drew knows, and all our listeners know, it drives me insane when I fly with the announcement from the stewardess, which is tampering with, disabling, or destroying a smoke detector is a federal crime. And I think to myself every single goddamn time, tampering with, I want to stand up when they go, and by the way, wear your seatbelt. Tampering with, I want to stand up and go, okay, that's enough. That's enough. You said tampering. Tampering covers everything. Done. Covers disabling. Covers submerging in water. Covers hitting with a mop hand. Tampering. It's all covered. Stop. Shut up. Shut up, you bitch. Don't say another goddamn word about that smoke detector. We are covered. The tampering with, disabling, or destroying, not necessarily. We do not need the disabling or destroying part. You understand?
Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, if you want to compromise and get rid of tampering with and say disabling,
yeah,
I'll go along with that too, because it is a device that is put there to serve a function, and if it cannot serve its function, you have disabled it.
Yep.
Now, if you do it through telepathy, then maybe there's an issue. Maybe you got a case. Maybe we can talk about that one. But I do not need to know every specific way you can get a smoke detector not to work. Just say, don't touch the goddamn smoke detector, and move on to the next thing, which is seatbelts, by the way. I don't know if you've heard about these things, Drew.
Seatbelts?
Oh, yes. All right, we're going to take ourselves a little break, and all right, hold on. That's it with the show, y'all. Breaking a little bit early tonight. Same clown posse will be here Wednesday. Ione Sky will be here Thursday. And I want to thank Sherry and Engineer Mike for all doing a wonderful job tonight, and you for listening. I really thank the listeners. I'd like you to all give yourselves a hand. Okay. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
Mommy! This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station.
These are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle. Now.